My name is Rachel Bennett, and I'm about to tell you how my family tried to steal my daughter's future. 12 years ago, my dad called me into his office and told me to give Emma's college savings to my nephew. Every single penny. Why? Because their boy was special and my girl was just ordinary. When I said no, my own sister walked up to me at Christmas dinner and spit right in my face. In front of everyone. Nobody said a word. Last summer, my supposedly ordinary daughter flew into their backyard party in her own helicopter. And what she gave my sister, who was living in her car at the time, made my father cry for the first time in his life. But before I tell you that part, stick around because this story gets better with every minute. Let me paint you a picture. The Bennett family Christmas, 12 years ago. Everyone sitting around this huge dining table. Turkey, ham, all the fancy dishes. My brother Daniel and his wife sitting there like royalty. Their son, 10-year-old Kevin, wearing his private school uniform even though it's Christmas. My dad stands up with his wine glass, making a toast about how Kevin just got accepted into some genius program for kids. Meanwhile, my Emma, she's 9 years old, sitting at the corner of the table in her Target dress, barely getting noticed. Dad doesn't even mention her name during the whole dinner. That was normal for us. Boys mattered. Girls were just there. Growing up in the Bennett house meant knowing your place. My brother Daniel got a brand new car when he turned 16. Got a used bike. When Daniel wanted to start a business, Dad gave him $50,000 just like that. When I wanted to go to nursing school, Dad said I should marry someone who'd take care of me instead. I worked 3 jobs to pay for my own education. Waited tables, cleaned offices, did people's laundry. I was so tired some days I'd cry on the bus ride home. But I finished. Got my nursing degree. Started working at the hospital. My family acted like it was no big deal. My brother Daniel. He failed with every single business Dad gave him money for. Lost it all. But Dad still called him an entrepreneur. Called him a go-getter. Me. I was just the daughter who worked at the hospital. When Emma was born, I thought maybe things would be different. Maybe Dad would love my daughter the way he loved my brother. I was wrong. Emma's father left when she was 2. Just packed his bags one day and disappeared. I raised her alone. Fed her, clothed her, helped with homework after working 12-hour shifts. Some nights I was so exhausted I'd fall asleep reading her bedtime stories. But we made it work. Emma was my whole world. We didn't have much, but we had each other. Then my mom's mom, Grandma Susan, passed away when Emma was 7. Sweet old lady who always snuck Emma cookies and told her she was smart and beautiful and special. When the lawyer read the will, I found out Grandma Susan left money for Emma. $15,000, locked in a special account that could only be used for Emma's school. Nobody else could touch it. Not me, not Dad, nobody. Just Emma. Fast forward 2 years. Kevin, my nephew, gets accepted into Yale. Well, my brother and his wife throw this massive party. Balloons, catered food, the works. Everyone's hugging Kevin like he just won the lottery. Dad's crying happy tears. My sister Jessica is taking 1,000,000 photos. And I'm standing there with Emma, watching all of this, feeling invisible. Then the party ends, and Dad asks me to stay behind. Daniel and Jessica stay too. That's when I knew something was wrong. Dad sits down in his big leather chair and looks at me. Rachel, he says, we need to talk about Emma's college money. My heart stops. What about it, I ask. Dad leans forward. Kevin needs that money for Yale. We're asking you to give it to him. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That money is for Emma, I said. It's from Grandma Susan. It's in a trust. Dad waves his hand like that doesn't matter. Emma's going to community college anyway, he says. She doesn't need $15,000 for that. Kevin's going to Yale. Do you understand how big this is for our family? Our family. I look at Daniel. He's nodding. Then I look at Jessica. She's staring at me with this cold look. Rachel, Jessica says, be realistic. Emma is a sweet girl, but she's not gifted like Kevin. His average. That money would be wasted on her. Kevin's going to be a doctor. Maybe even work at a famous hospital. Emma will probably just get married and have kids. She doesn't need that education money. I feel my hands shaking. No, I say. The answer is a no. Dad's face turns red. Excuse me. That money belongs to me, I say louder. Grandma Susan left it for her education. Not for Kevin. Not for anyone else. It's locked in a trust. I can't give it to you even if I wanted to. And I don't want to. Jessica jumps up from her seat. She walks over to me, and her face is right in front of mine. You're being selfish, she hisses. You've always been selfish. Taking, never giving back to this family. Her voice is getting louder. We're asking you to do one thing. One thing to help this family succeed. And you're saying no. Then it happened. Jessica pulled her head back and spit directly in my face. Real spit. Wet and warm running down my cheek. I stood there, frozen. Emma gasped beside me. Dad sat in his chair and said nothing. Daniel looked at the floor. Nobody defended me. Nobody said, "That's too far." Nobody handed me a tissue. The room was silent. I wiped my face with my sleeve, took Emma's hand, and walked out. I didn't say goodbye. Didn't slam the door. Just left. In the car, Emma was crying. Mom, why did Aunt Jessica do that? Why didn't Grandpa stop her? I held her hand tight. 'Cause some people think family means you have to let them hurt you. But they're wrong. We don't need them, baby. We have each other. The next 12 years were hard. I picked up extra shifts at the hospital. Emma went to public school, rode the bus, did her homework at our tiny kitchen table. We couldn't afford fancy tutors or private lessons. But Emma worked. She studied late into the night. She asked questions. She learned. When she graduated high school, she went to community college, just like Dad predicted. But here's what he didn't know. Emma wasn't just taking classes. She was building something. She'd always loved computers. Started teaching herself to code when she was 12. By the time she was 20, she'd created this app that helped small businesses save money on energy bills. One investor saw it. Then another. Then a big investment company offered her $500,000 to grow her company. Emma called me crying. Happy crying. Mom, she said, they want to invest in me. They think my idea can help thousands of businesses. I'm getting a chance. Cried too. My baby girl, the one they called Average, was building something amazing. Over the next few years, Emma's company grew and grew and grew. She hired people. Opened offices in 3 cities. Her app was on the news. Then last year, a huge corporation wanted to buy her company. The price? $200 million. $200 million. My daughter, who ate dollar store cereal for breakfast and wore thrift store clothes, was worth more money than I could even imagine. But here's the thing. Emma never changed. She still called me every night. Still visited our little house. Still remembered where she came from. Last month, Dad sent me a letter. Said he was having a family reunion. Wanted everyone to come. Wanted to see Emma. I laughed when I read it. 12 years of silence. And now he wants to see her. Emma said, Mom, let's go. I have something I need to do. The day of the reunion, I drove to Dad's house alone. When I got there, the backyard was full of relatives I haven't seen in years. Daniel was there, looking tired and older. His wife looking uncomfortable. Kevin was there too, 22 now, no job, still living with his parents. Jessica was there. My sister. She'd lost weight. Her clothes looked old. I heard she'd lost everything in a divorce. Then I heard it. The sound of a helicopter. Everyone looked up. A shiny black helicopter appeared over the trees and landed right on Dad's lawn. The door opened and Emma stepped out. She wore a simple blue dress. Her hair pulled back. She walked across the grass like she owned the place. Everyone was staring. She walked straight to Jessica. My sister looked terrified. Emma pulled out an envelope and handed it to her. Inside was a check. And a letter offering Jessica a job at Emma's company. Not charity. A real job with real pay, helping other women who'd lost everything get back on their feet. Jessica started crying. Emma then walked to Kevin and handed him information about a free training program her company runs for people who need a second chance. Then she turned to Dad. She didn't hug him, didn't smile, just looked him in the eyes. "Grandpa," she said, "you told Mom I was average. You were right. I was average. But average people who work hard can do extraordinary things. You just never stayed around long enough to see it." Dad couldn't speak. Emma took my hand and we walked back to that helicopter together. As we lifted off, I looked down at them all. And I finally felt free.